from a political standpoint.
Right. Was that one of the first times you really thought about perhaps your mortality in a way? Because, going to Vietnam, has different consequences. So like,
Well, I figured I would end up in a Stars and Stripes unit as a working journalist. So I wasn't necessarily concerned that I would be put into a front line or jungle situation of attacking Viet Cong or regular Vietnamese army people in the forest of Vietnam. I thought I'd be covering that and probably covering it from a distance. I already knew one person who I'd worked with at the post who went into, I don't remember if he was drafted or he went into the Army voluntarily, but he ended up in one of those units, and he had told me, we had written it to each other back and forth, and told me what it was like. It was our basic training at the Washington Post. It was very easy to get into one of those units and write for the Stars and Stripes, which was the Army's publication. So I figured if push came to shove and I was drafted, I wasn't going to refuse to go into the Army. But I would go in and I would seek to get into one of those units. So mortality really I wasn't afraid of going into a combat situation or into Vietnam. That didn't bother me so much as contributing to a war that I thought was unjust. And there was a lot of information available in the 60s about Vietnam, both pro-Vietnam and anti-war